everyone, it's Hannah, and for this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to subtract fractions. So let's get started. Now just to put it out there, subtracting fractions have the same exact steps as adding fractions, except it's subtraction. Except for one thing, when it comes to borrowing, it's a whole different concept, and that's what I'm going to be teaching you right now. So let's first start off with subtracting fractions with the same denominator. Let's do 5/6 minus 3/6. Now remember, it's the same exact steps. You want to keep the denominator and only subtract the numerator. And if you don't know this, you should probably go back to my adding fractions video. I'll link that down below. Now you're going to subtract the numerators. 5 minus 3 is 2. And then we just simplify that as usual, which gets you to 1/3. Now let's move on to subtracting fractions with different denominators. Okay, let's start off with an example being 4/8 minus 3/12. Again, if you saw my adding fractions video, you would know that it's the same exact steps. We find the LCM, and let's actually find that right now. So we have to find the LCM of these two numbers. So let's list off the multiples of 8 and 12. We got 24, 36, and so on. But we only need the least, so we got 24. Now we know that this is going to be our two new denominators that are common. So we can write it like that. Okay. Now we do the same thing. 8 goes into 24 times 3. So we do the same to the top, the numerator. 4 times 3 is 12, so that is our first numerator. Then we do the same again. 12 goes into 24 times 2. 3 goes times 2 as well, because whatever you do to the numerator, you do to the denominator. 3 times 2 is 6, so that is our second numerator. Now notice how these two fractions are the same as these two fractions once you simplify it. This just shows that we're not changing the value of the fractions, we're just changing how it's written. Now again, we just subtract like usual, 24, 6, and then we can simplify this to our answer being 1/4. Let's move on to borrowing with fractions now. Say we have 1 3/12 minus 6/8. Now in this scenario, you can clearly tell that this numerator is bigger than this one. And we cannot subtract like this. So what we have to do is we have to change the problem a little bit into making it more convenient for us. And this is how we do it. We borrow. So let's first get our LCM, and I use the same denominators for us so it can be a little easier. The LCM of 12 and 8 is 24. And again, times 2. This numerator is times 2, so this is 6. And then we do the same for this fraction, times 3, times 3, and we get 18. So let me write out my problem a little neater so we can focus on just this portion. Okay, so I just rewrote the problem again. It's the same problem. Okay. So what we're going to do now is, because we have this 1 in the front, this is a lifesaver for us. As you can tell clearly that this fraction right here is a mixed number. We need to change this fraction into an improper fraction. And we can do this by first multiplying these two and adding these two. 24 times 1 is 24, plus 6 is 30. Okay, so then 30 is going to be our numerator in that case, and then our denominator stays at 24. And then the same thing for this one, this remains. And now we just subtract like usual, and our answer is going to be 12 by 24, which simplifies to 1/2. I feel like we should do one more problem about this concept, but this time we're going to go a little faster. Okay, then before we get started, I highly recommend you just pause this video and try to solve it yourself. So let's do 5 and 6/12 minus 8/12. Okay, so again, we have our same denominators, but we need to borrow. So in this case, we have our whole number over here as 5. So we're actually going to take a whole number away, and we're going to make this an 18. All we did is we made a mixed number with this fraction again by taking away one whole number. So in this, instead, you do 12 plus 6. So then we just subtract like usual, and our answer is 4 10/12, which simplifies to 4 and 5, 6. Thanks for watching!